Peace and blessings is real. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters is edified by this word. And the name of the lesson is called Sign of the End Times, Biblical News, volume 223. And in this edition, we're going to focus on the civil rights leaders, okay, urging blacks to stay home, okay. There's no secret what we have going on today. The coronavirus pandemic has been going on for the last couple months. And the last month or so, the economy shut down. Okay, the stay at home order pretty much was put in place. And once this stay at home order was put in place at the time, which was over a month ago, everybody's main concern was trying to gather what was really happening, trying to determine, is this real? Is this a hoax? Like, it just kind of came out of nowhere as far as this coronavirus pandemic. It kind of just came out of nowhere. Nobody was prepared for this. So when the governors ordered to stay at home, most people were temporarily relieved due to this, the risk of being infected by this pandemic. Most people at the time were temporarily relieved. But as time went, financially, you saw that this was going to be a problem. And not only was it a problem financially for employees, but it was a bigger problem for corporations and businesses, even mom and pop businesses, small businesses. The whole world was affected. Okay, economy-wise, the whole world was affected. And so what has happened is most of these stay-at-home orders was like a 30-day test run, to be able to see how, in hopes of things kind of going back to normal, so to speak. And obviously, after 30 days, man, the economy has really, really taken a hit, man. Businesses and people on their jobs. What you see on the screen is what the economy looks like currently during this stay-at-home order. It's a time where not too long ago, this scene right here, it would be people everywhere. The world just operating the way it is accustomed to. And after 30 days, man, a lot of states are to the point where they want to get back to normal as close as possible. I mean, people are struggling financially. Businesses are struggling. So a lot of these governors have opened up the economy, starting with Georgia and a few others. And within the next week or two, the safe-at-home orders will be lifted according to the original dates they were set. But in this particular sign of the end times, we're going to deal with the civil rights leaders and religious leaders. They, according to CNN, they had a special message to the so-called blacks, so-called African Americans, and that message was to stay at home. According to CNN, it says civil rights and religious leaders urge African Americans to defy governors' efforts to reopen businesses. Okay. The article goes on to say A coalition of prominent civil rights and black religious leaders is urging African American residents who live in states that are moving swiftly to reopen their economies to stay home in defiance of governors until there is evidence the coronavirus outbreak has eased. Okay. The group convened by the Conference of National Black Churches and Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network said some governors are demonstrating reckless disregard for the health and life of black residents and call for black churches and businesses to remain closed in those states until there is evidence that it's safe to resume more normal activity. Okay. It goes on to say, we do not take it lightly to encourage members of our communities to defy the orders of state governors, the officials said in a statement. Our sacred duty is to support and advance the life and health of black people, families, and communities in our country. Top officials with the NAACP, the National Urban League, and the National Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under law are among the groups joining the stay-at-home message. Georgia on Friday, which was this past Friday, became one of the first states to begin reopening non-essential businesses, including barbershops, nail salons, and gyms. Republican Governor Brian Kemp's move to restart an economy stalled by the pandemic has sparked dismay among some of the state's mayors, who says increasing coronavirus cases in their communities show Kemp is moving too quickly. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom, she told CNN John Bergman on this past Friday that nothing has changed, and she urged residents of her city to stay home. Why? Because people are still getting infected. People are still dying. Okay, and it says nearly a third of Georgia's residents are African Americans, and the COVID-19 has cut a particularly deadly path through African American communities. And the figures from Centers for the Disease Control and Prevention shows black patients have made up nearly 20% of the U.S. coronavirus death, although African Americans only make up 13% of the nation's population. All in all, the outbreak has killed more than 53,000 people in the U.S. as of Saturday afternoon, according to Johns Hopkins University latest tally. Other states, including Oklahoma, Alaska, have started to ease restrictions as well. So what you have going on is the civil rights leaders and the religious leaders are urging so-called blacks to stay at home and not rejoin the economy when it opens. And they fear, because people are still infected and people are still dying, it's not a smart thing to do. And they feel that it's reckless disregard for the health of the so-called blacks to be able to open up the community as if everything is A-okay. My thing is, let me just bring out this scripture now, and I'll just, close it out. But in Isaiah 26:20, man, it kind of speaks about something to the magnitude of this. It says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed," until God's wrath is over with. In other words, okay, the Lord's anger, okay, his infliction of punishment. And right now, when you look at this coronavirus, man, especially for the Israelites, dude that we're under the curses, this is definitely viewed as punishment of the Lord's wrath for our disobedience, man. So, the thing is, on one end, you got people, you got black business owners that are struggling due to the stay-at-home order. So it's kind of like the gift and the curse. You got black owners as well as so-called whites and all other nationality owners that are hurting. But since the subject matters deal with so-called blacks, let's just analyze this for a minute. You got so-called blacks in Atlanta or in Georgia, period, for that matter, that rely on their business to be open, man. Non-essential businesses we're talking about. And in just 1 month, a lot of these businesses, man, are crumbling. Their livelihood, they got to still provide for their families. So what do you say to those people? The civil rights leaders and the religious leaders, what do you say to these so-called black owners, man, that need the economy to open so they can survive? What do you say to them? You see? So on one end, I understand that, you want to preserve their health, but then on the other end, these people still have to survive, man. Financially, it's tough. So this is my whole thing right here, man. Why not? If these governors are going to open up the economy with this coronavirus still being out here and still killing people and infecting people, then why not look into measures like making the mask mandatory, making it, have some type of social distancing in these businesses, so these people can have a livelihood and at the same time be proactive in being protecting themselves. I think it can be a way that this might could happen, man. I think the masks, if the mask and the gloves and whatnot, if that's slowing down the coronavirus, then keep it in place. Even as you open up the economy, keep that in place, man. And then practice some type of limitation of social distancing. You limit it to X amount of people at your business at one time. And now you got people that's practicing safety. And then you also got business owners being able to provide for their families again, man. What's the name of the word once again, man? Sign of the End Times, Biblical News, Volume 223. The civil rights leaders urge blacks to stay home. And my thing is, on one end, I can understand that. But then on the other end, how do you tell a black business owner that's starving for the last month, that got mortgages and got to get his kids through college and whatnot? What do you say to him? Stay a whole another month and starve to damn death and be completely broke, be completely over with? So I think people need to really, really analyze some of the things that they're doing. And it's like I said, man, if this ain't the sign of the end times, I don't know what is, man. You have people that's leaders that's telling you to disregard what the governors are saying. In Romans 13 and Romans chapter 13, I believe it speaks about us as Israelites have to respect the principalities that the Lord have set up. But then you got these civil rights leaders and religious leaders saying, defy those orders, stay at home. So, either way how you look at it, man, it's a crazy situation, man. But my thing is this, as we get ready to close out. If you Israelites are looking at this video, you're a so-called black or you're an Israelite in general, and you have a business, a non-essential business, and your business has been affected, and we know that financially you have taken a major hit, and you have an opportunity to get back out here and save your business, reestablish your livelihood, I'm all for that. At the same time, just be careful, man. Make sure you protect yourself and make sure your customers protect themselves. as the economy opens back up. I think it'll be a win-win versus someone just staying at home and, livelihood is still intact. And let me just say this, man, as I get ready to close out this word too. When you look at the totality of the cases versus the death, it's only 7% of the people have died. The other 93% of the people that have gotten this coronavirus have not died. What am I saying, man? It's only 7% globally of the people that was positive that have died from this coronavirus. 7%, not 30, 40, 50%, 7%. But that's a small percentage, man. There's no way you should shut down the economy when only 7% of people are dying from this, man. Shh. Come on, man. I hope you sincere. Brothers and sisters was edified by this word. We give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out, man. Shalom.